The Zone Coverage Podcast Network.
The Andy Luke and Arif football machine.
Autobots, transform! I like this kind of party!
Straight cash, homie.
Starts now.
We're live. I thought it was a valid thing. Andy was not ready.
That's right. That's what the doctor said.
You want me to start over?
Okay. Welcome back to Thunderdome for another Zone Coverage Football Machine, Zone Coverage Podcast Network. I'm your not so humble host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. And I have Actor more equity than Arif being replaced at The Athletic by Xavier Rhodes.
Oh.
Ghost Writer. I have all right. So Arif, Yinka, Luke, Tom, they're all here. I have questions. What is the upside of publishing that?
Clicks? I don't know.
I know, but like from Xavier's perspective.
Well, I mean, I don't think that there's actually a downside, honestly.
I know, but just the whole Rodgers won. Stafford's too. It's like you left Cousins off, or you did this. It was like it's entertaining, especially the pieces on Harrison, on Everson, cool. But it's like, how much do you think he got paid for that?
Probably not a small amount.
Over under $20,000.
Under what? $20,000?
I don't know what the rates are in the journalism
I
field
thought,
nowadays.
what did you guys think of the actual piece? I just like getting a player's perspective. Obviously, you had help writing it, right?
Well, I mean, all of the Players Tribune pieces have the same voice, so yeah.
Okay. I just love getting a player's perspective on other players and just the game. Plays that, like that Harrison Smith description about him calling into a blitz out of the cover 3, yelling out what the actual play was. I mean, I didn't.
And we
know
got
all
to
that
see
stuff.
a little gif of that, I think.
Yep. They showed some good gifs. I love the respect and kind of woke me up a little bit on maybe how good really Jordan Howard is. Maybe we'll never see him because the Bears' offense and passing attack could suck. Listen, hour 1. But Jordan Howard, just the respect that he has for Jordan Howard after the play of another gif.
That was a bit unexpected.
Corner.
To have Jordan Howard.
Yeah,
3 guys.
Xavier, Jordan Howard have the same agent.
Oh.
I just made that up.
Maybe that's...
I just made that up.
I'm really excited for Jalen Ramsey's player tribune.
Jalen Ramsey should be the Players Tribune.
Right.
But I think the best is when...
The Player Tribune.
The Player Tribune. I liked Richard Sherman's piece a while back about the most underrated players. Stephon Diggs, I think, ended up on that list. But also, I mean, Sherman's pieces have been, I think, a little bit different. I mean, he also wrote a piece that ended up in SI. I don't know how much help he had writing that, but for the most part, he's done a pretty good job. So I do like seeing player perspectives. I do think it does get a bit sanitized on the Players Tribune, but the piece was funny. The Everson Griffin anecdote was amazing. Everson,
Wait.
it's time out.
Wait.
Chill out.
Wait, was Zach Zenner on the Vikings?
No?
No,
to
okay.
Egan, though.
No, hold on. This is a Thomason. So Thomason tweeted out Vikings waive running back Zach Zenner, who's from Egan. I think he probably means the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he the North Dakota State player? Something like
South
that?
Dakota State.
Yeah.
He would never play for North Dakota State.
Jack Rabbits.
He would not do that.
Jack Rabbits.
He's not that good.
What a weird color scheme, yellow and blue.
Yeah, makes sense.
I do not.
Chargers
like that.
have it.
Yeah, but theirs is way better blue color.
They have 2 blue colors.
But
like-
one actually, I'll go this way. The baby blue, great. The other blue, not great for the Chargers.
All right. That's not a good take, but okay.
Rude.
Wait, you like the other blue?
I like all 3 together. They look great together.
I could kind of see that. Wasn't LT early on? It was very that dark blue, and that was not good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, hour 1, we previewed Vikings Packers. We didn't even talk about Adrian Peterson.
Who?
Yeah.
I want to state something on Adrian Peterson. It's not a surprise he did well in week 1. It'd be a surprise if he does well later in the season, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the question.
That's what you have to realize about Adrian Peterson. Like, he still has something in the tank, right?
Well, he's
gonna
like
give
2010 Chris Johnson. Man.
Yeah, he's going to give
go
us.
Off
He's
like
going
150 yards and then 30 yards a bunch.
Exactly. He'll have one game where he posts almost 200 yards, and then 14 games this season he's going to post less than 100 yards, and the efficiency on those are going to be like 27 carries, 37 yards. Like
just branching off that too, he's still a great goal line back. He could have a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah,
all 1-yard plunges. I mean,
you learn from
be the guy.
best Athriata.
3 out of.
I
Won
will
me
say,
fantasy.
I will say,
championship game.
I thought Adrian was DOA just watching some of his games in Arizona last year. But, I mean, watching him running behind Washington's healthy offensive line, it's like, maybe this said more about Arizona last year and this year. R.I.P. Sam Bradford, by the way. Arizona's going to be bad.
Are they?
Yeah.
Man, that's just so weird to me. Like, I know Tyrann Mathieu's gone, but that defense should still produce.
Yeah.
I know.
And it kind of didn't. And I thought Sam Bradford would be better. And, he wasn't.
You what? You did?
Dude, he had, 2 adjusted yards per attempt. He should be better than that.
They had the league sack leader on the team last year in Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Patrick Peterson, who's still at his, when
Right.
he's on his A game, top 5 cornerback in the league. There's other talent sprinkled in that whole defense.
Yeah, I
Why are
thought
they
that
not
defense
that
would be better.
good?
Also, I'm not saying I
Jay
expected
Gruden,
Bradford to
chop
be
him up.
great, but obviously, he's shown that he can be very good, and he put together a stat line that was you'd expect that of not even the worst quarterback in the league. It was awful.
I guess
Okay.
we have different expectations for Sam Bradford.
I don't. Why would you think Sam Bradford would play poorly though?
I didn't think he would play poorly. But
Well,
I
he
mean,
played abysmally, so yeah. Then you agree with me that he should have played better.
No, I can agree with that. What I'm saying is,
So my sentence I expect Bradford to have played better, and you were like, what?
because I look at him as an average quarterback. So I mean,
Fine, he played way below average, so I expected him to play better.
Over under
You guys are so
3
cute
more
when you're mad.
games, 3.5 more games until Josh Rosen is chosen.
I'm gonna go.
a lot longer.
I'm gonna go over.
I want to say over, but
Coach
man, the
is weird.
NFL just has no patience at all.
Did they go the full season? Does Wilkes go the full season with Bradford?
No.
Well, does Bradford make it the full
Right,
season?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
mean-spirited.
I think they intend to go the full
Yeah.
season with Bradford.
Who's had a better career, Matthew Stafford or Sam Bradford? The last of the 2 pre-rookie wage scale number 1 quarterbacks.
I have to say that
Stafford, right?
that Bradford's had a better playing time to money ratio.
Yeah.
Stafford's definitely had a better career though.
Stafford or Carson Palmer?
What, as players?
boy.
Yeah,
Or
as players.
Carson Palmer at his best was much better than Stafford, but Carson
Palmer had some
has
dark years.
Yeah, Palmer's had some pretty bad years too.
Yeah.
So
Didn't the Raiders trade 2 firsts for him?
Yeah, no, Hugh did.
Whoa.
Not the Raiders, Hugh.
but yeah, I'd say Palmer at his worst is worse than Stafford at his worst.
Yeah.
Palmer at his best is better than Stafford at his best. I would probably take Palmer
Yeah.
because those highs were really, really good.
Man, it was weird at the end in Cincinnati after chemo blew up his knee, and then he fake retired.
Yeah,
And
that was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm retired. No, you're not. I'm going back to California. Whatever. No, just shut up.
It was he made them believe it, right? And
Yeah.
I think he genuinely was either I play for another team or not at all.
Yeah. Maybe he's just sick of practicing underneath the freeway, which is always my just funniest thing about the stupid Bengals.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, caller, who we got?
Hello?
Hey, who we got?
Hey.
It's Bo from Iowa here.
Oh, hey, what's going on, man?
What you know, man?
Man,
I already made that
hopefully
joke.
that,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
bad man Aaron Rodgers doesn't play on Sunday.
Oh, he playing.
No, he'll be bad, man.
Well, man, I mean, if he comes back, hopefully we hurt him. No shade, though. No shade, though.
We're good.
Knock on wood. But if Packers have any chance, it's with him. That's about it.
Bo, how can we throw in shade at second-round pick Deshaun Kaiser?
Man, how many games has he won?
Don't let him bait you.
No.
15.
No, he won 1. He's 1-0 this season.
This season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let him
It's
bait
his
you.
first NFL win. How crazy is that?
Are we doing the QB wins pod now?
That was his first win.
Well,
They gave him the win.
his first one was this Monday.
I really
Yeah.
say that was about him, though.
I mean, he played.
Yeah. Maybe outplayed
Did he
Trubisky in the second half.
He threw a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
In a manner of speaking.
Bo, you seem pretty subdued, though.
Yeah, Andy follows me on Twitter.
Cool.
You do?
So,
Yeah.
so I had to call him up.
Hey, that's awesome, man. What was your overall feel from Sunday?
I thought offense was good until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they kind of stepped off the gas a little bit there. They just look a little sluggish.
Why do you think that is, man?
I think DiFilippo just focused too hard on just trying to run that clock out, let the defense take care of business. But I think as the season progresses, I think DiFilippo is going to be a little bit more aggressive come second half, or more so, I should say, closing out games. Because really, that's his MO. He's very aggressive, isn't he? Going back to his later days.
Cousins, he's playing good. That's good. I think Cook, hopefully he starts heating up here with the run game, even though the O-line's not that good.
And also free David Morgan.
Yeah. Love those luscious locks he's had.
Yeah. Wait. Since we're in the backup tight end hair podcast, what do you think about Conklin's?
I love his hair too.
Hey.
Was he the one that caught that 3rd-and-1 pass?
Yes.
I think that was him. He got 10 yards off that?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, man. Why keep bringing up old stuff? Yeah. Hey, Bo, appreciate you calling in that, man.
Thanks. Have a good night, you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a bunch of Twitter questions. We got another phone call?
We do not.
All right, so this is from Anthony Krepp. How are draft picks valued? For example, Teddy was traded for a 3rd-round pick in 2019. That seems low to me, but I literally know nothing about draft picks.
How do you answer that?
I don't know. We've kind of discussed that.
It's a good question. I
That
understand what he's trying to ask. But.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that draft picks have been kind of overvalued in the way that we look at them, because essentially they're just gambling chips to potentially get a high-producing player.
It's the league's currency.
Yeah.
It's the only currency really they have besides obviously trading players.
Yeah.
So it's their yearly paycheck every year.
Yeah.
But
it would be a nice
thing
thing to see, like the metric of the value versus like veteran players and later round picks and whatnot, and what certain players would be worth, because we are seeing a lot of these veterans getting traded for 6th, 7th round picks and whatnot.
Well, Reef, you did the math on the Khalil Mack trade, right? Where it netted out to like X or whatever it was.
Yeah, so when you account for the discount of future picks, assuming 2020 or whatever, and you account for hey, they got the second back and a third went the other way, and then a fifth and the sixth. If you account for all of the value of all of those picks, it comes out to, depending on the chart that you use, somewhere between the number 3 overall pick, which is I think appropriate, and the number 10 overall pick, which I think means the Bears kind of just got away with one there.
Yeah. Like the whole details, initially when that news broke, it's 2 ones, all right, and then the Bears are sending a second back. You're like, what?
I know that's second.
Yeah. What
are you doing?
John?
I can't imagine how that conversation goes, right? Okay, I think we've done a really good job kind of moving forward. I'm going to need something back from you. Wait, you mean besides the...
More?
Yeah. I'm giving up 2 firsts. How
that
valuable
should be
first round picks are.
6th.
Right. No, it's got to be something pretty substantial. I got to be able to draft Devontae Adams or something. I'm going to need something back. I was thinking a 2nd round pick. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Sure. What else you need?
Well, I'll need a conditional 5th back from you. Oh yeah, okay.
I guess. Sure.
Wait a minute. They did get a 3rd though back as well.
They got a 3rd back. Yeah.
So softens the blow a little bit, but
a
still
small
ridiculous.
Amount. Yeah.
Still.
I don't know. Who's
10 years, $100 million.
All right, so say that everyone is available for trade, taking into account age and whatnot, who would be the most valuable in terms of picks?
Aaron Rodgers.
Still.
Oh, period out of any player
period.
in the NFL? Yeah, probably Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
At 34.
Yeah,
absolutely.
6 more years in him.
Yeah. Well, we're so Rodgers, Marcus Davenport, Russell. Yeah. Hey, caller, who we got?
Hey, it's Mick calling in from Monterey.
Nick from Monterey. What's going on, bro?
Monterey. On the monorail.
It's Mick with an M.
Mick.
So I had a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One of them is about the previous game. So it was like 3rd and 14 towards the end of the half, and it was the play that ended with a sack. And I know that like a big thing about Kirk Cousins going in was that he diagnoses a defense, and then like whatever he sees, like that's where he goes. Was that a situation where he misdiagnosed the defense?
I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't break down that play specifically, but I know that he kind of held on to the ball a little bit there. I think of his 3 sacks, 2 of them were faster than 2.5 seconds, so I wouldn't really blame him for that. But I think that's the 3rd one where he kind of held on to the ball, if it's the one you're talking about. And
he held on and was just like looking around.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what happened there, where the defense he saw was not the defense he expected, and he just kind of froze up a little bit.
Against like more competent defensive coordinators, is that going to be a bigger issue moving forward?
Maybe. Part of it's also the ability of like the game plan to kind of build in contingencies, because like one of the things about Cousins is that if you can flood him with a bunch of different options and plans, and like, you know, if this happens then do this, he'll be fine. So if you can like kind of predict what his reads should be, you can give him kind of like a list of things to do. It's really when he doesn't have the ability to go back on something that they've planned on. So if you've got a big enough plan to account for a specific kind of coordinator, you can say, hey, you know, if you diagnose cover 2, do this. If it becomes cover 1, do this. If it becomes, you know, cover 6, do this. You know, if you give him like a bunch of different options, he'll be able to rifle through those options quickly and do what he needs to do. So I think it's less about how kind of competent that defensive coordinator is going to be, although that definitely plays a role, and also about being able to accurately predict maybe what that defensive coordinator might want to do. So if they put out a look that they've never, you know, put on film before, you know, maybe, although I wouldn't be surprised if Cousins then, if he's seen that look before from another team, executes that plan instead. So there's a lot of, I think, elements that go into preventing him from like freezing up and stuff.
Is it fair to say that Cousins is a great front runner? Like, under ideal conditions, diagnose the play, he's good to go. But when things get muddy, that's where it gets a little dicey.
Yeah. Exclusively with his career, it's been that way. I mean, you can look at 2015, 2016, 2017. You can see how much there was so much variability between 2017, not a great year. Lost Trent Williams for the season, I think, for the most part. Had a kind of decimated offensive line. Wide receiver and tight end options weren't as plentiful as they were in the previous
lost
season.
Deshaun Jackson,
Yeah, so I mean, and then you watch 2015, 2016, really explodes. You can really see top 10 quarterbacks really across the board. But you definitely saw the dip in his play once he didn't have the most ideal conditions, and that was kind of one of the biggest concerns bringing him in here. Mm-hmm. Paying a guy fully guaranteed money of $84 million is, you know, if you're going to pay the guy that much, you really want him to elevate the players around him and kind of rise above, you know, the conditions that happen. And so far, I haven't really seen that in his career.
Yeah. The Mick, what else you got?
So it's Packers week, which was just perfectly lined up because I was going to ask you guys this question anyway. Why do Vikings fans want to make Aaron Rodgers less than he is? Wouldn't you rather struggle against one of the greatest quarterbacks ever than someone who's pedestrian?
Well, that's actually, I think, a pretty good question, because I think this happens to fans all the time, where they'll do this against opponents all the time. Well, they'll diminish like their opponent, and then like the end result of that is that you've either lost to somebody that you don't think is very good, or you've beaten someone and it kind of doesn't count for much. I see this happen a lot, but I think it's because the important thing for the Vikings-Packers rivalry, like, it includes winning, but it also just includes, generally speaking, you know, the sense of superiority, which is aided by winning, but is also aided by, like, pointing out, like, oh, your team's not that good or whatever, right? So if you can diminish, like, the identity value of, you know, your opponent, then you're kind of short-circuiting the need to win, right? And just saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers is really bad at fourth-quarter comebacks, which past 3 years, maybe that's not been true. But, you know, it used to be super true, right?
Yeah.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, he gets help from, I don't know, Jordy? Like, I don't know what you would say at this point. But,
Jared Cook.
Yeah,
In the playoffs against
Aaron
Cowboys.
Rodgers, he's just a product of David Bakhtiari. But, like...
I guess my thing is I like saying, like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is amazing, but the rest of the team is so bad.
That is pretty fun to say.
Well,
21 other players suck.
But here's the thing, though, Mick. I feel like, being a fan, short for fanatic, you don't have to be rational about a lot of things. And, yeah, I think deep down every Vikings fans know that Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of the generation. But also it's great to say he ain't shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You just want to feel better, right? And so maybe you win to do that, or maybe you just point out, you weren't that good in the first place. Doesn't matter. You're bad. I feel better already.
Yeah. Hey, Mick, appreciate you calling in that, man.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Aaron Rodgers, product of David Bakhtiari.
System QB. It's all McCarthy.
It's a systems quarterback.
Man, the whole system quarterback thing, that bugs me. I know it goes back to, like, the West Coast and
all the way back to Kenny Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Going back to old Cincinnati. Hey, we got a call?
We did. The computer putzed out, so hopefully the guy calls.
Oh,
back.
no way.
Yeah,
that computer?
This is new. This was new in 2001.
Actually, I hear a voice. Caller.
Hello.
Hey, who we got?
Who's this? Oh, it's Fred.
Oh,
hey. What up, Fred?
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Was feeling good on a Wednesday. Oh, man. How are you guys doing?
Got that adrenaline
Dude,
in
we're
you, huh?
we're great. We're better now that you've called, actually.
Oh, really? That's nice to hear, man.
Yeah.
What are you guys chatting about?
Rivalry week, baby.
Yeah, we're talking about. I don't know if you know this. The Vikings are playing the Packers this week, so that's some people are talking about that. Yeah. What about you? What are you up to?
Sweet. It's sweet, man. No, I'm just chilling with my dog. I ran out of beer, so.
So,
whatever.
All right.
Gotta chill with the dog now.
That happens.
Your first dog.
Yeah. My wife's gonna be home soon. Maybe she'll bring some. I don't know. But
keep us posted. It's kind of
yeah, we want to know,
big
man.
deal. So, what do you think, man? Vikers.
Vikers.
Well,
Vikers.
I feel like I'm trying to think like how are the Packers going to score points against us?
Well,
like Rodgers is going to make some plays, but
that's true. San Fran was able to move the ball, though. I mean, that George Kittle deep drop pass. But was that more Vikings missing assignments that you think and hope Zimmer is going to clean some of that up, right? Yeah. Or was Shanahan just able to put together a pretty good script and game plan himself?
Yeah, I think the Packers will put some stuff together just because of how good Rodgers is. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how many points they can put up with a hobbled Aaron Rodgers with a defense that's become kind of used to the stuff that he's good at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, having one receiver.
Yeah, seriously. They only have Trevor Davis is gone now, right?
Yeah. Or he's still injured. Yeah. So
what?
He's still injured. I think hamstring, right? So they got Randall Cobb returning punts. Randall Cobb, I guess, did end up having a reappearance party, but mostly it's just like Devonta Adams.
Whatever happened to that Catholic church they got in the draft?
Equanimous St. Brown. He hasn't.
Well, Catholic Church ain't been run so hot lately.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the active. I don't think he was active against Chicago. I think he was just.
He apparently has two
really?
younger brothers though. That
Amon Rod St. Brown.
Yeah,
that's a good
supposed
one.
to be even better, which would be interesting.
Amon Rod St. Brown.
Yeah,
his name.
That's one of the brothers. Yeah.
Didn't they chant that in Temple of Doom? That's a crazy name, man. That's a crazy name. Yeah, I'm not worried about any of those cons. I mean, Devontae Adams is. I don't know. I'm not worried about Devontae Adams. They got Xavier locked on him probably. Hell, you put Mike Hughes on him. Mike Hughes is a baller.
Do you think Mike Hughes is on track to win Defensive Rookie of the Year?
It's so hard for a cornerback.
Yeah.
To back to win.
Yeah, I mean, a few more of those splash plays, yeah, for sure.
Didn't Lattimore win last year?
I think that Anthony Barr would have won his rookie year if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Wasn't as much
he had
competition
big splash
with
plays.
him, but
that's true.
Marcus Peters also was in the mix when he
Marcus
came
Peters
out,
had like
too.
7 interceptions
It was wild.
that year, right?
It was
I don't think he
ridiculous.
won because, again, a front seven guy usually wins because they get more stats. Sacks, tackles for loss, tackles, the whole bit. Maybe an interception, the whole bit.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. He looks good. He looked really good. I mean, well, what do I know? I thought that play, like his pick six was nice, but, I think that was pretty.
Yeah,
I mean, you could screw it up too, like Fuller did, but he didn't.
Yeah.
But that play in the end zone against Garcon or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
The barista. He was out there and he kind of he hit him a little early and bodied him up, but he held his arms back.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty savvy move. I was like, damn.
He's a smart dude,
good.
man.
Yeah. Think of how good he'd be if he wasn't in his fourth defensive system in 4 years.
Right?
Yeah. Fast learner, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he must be some savant or something.
Yeah.
Like Goodwill Hunting.
Cornerback Rain Man.
Rain Man. Oh, man. Yeah, he looked really good. I think, but I just I don't know, man. I'm not even really worried about this game because I don't know if Rodgers can't bounce around, get David Copperfield shit and all that. He's gonna be. They're gonna just. Rush up the middle. All these people are like, they'll just do what they did against the Bears in the second half. I'm like, I don't know. I doubt it. We'll see. I don't know.
That's fair.
Score prediction?
Well, I think that I think they probably score. I think it's probably 24-17.
Hey, we'll take it.
Like it.
Hey, Freddie.
That's what I'm talking about.
Freddie, thanks for calling in, buddy. I always love hearing from you.
All right, homies. Take care. Have a good
Later,
one.
man. Yep. Talk to you next week. Peace.
All right. So, defensive rookies of the year.
Yeah,
we'll go back.
so you go Marshawn Lattimore,
Yeah.
Joey Bosa, Marcus Peters, and then you have to go back 16, 17 years before you get another cornerback. And it's usually linebackers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
2013.
they get some picks in there too, and they're the guys who get 100+ tackles.
Yeah, exactly. You get to count up
You
the
get a
tackles.
Kuechly in there.
D'Amico Ryans.
Oh,
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryans was actually really good for
Another call?
3
Was he a
years.
top 10 pick? Number 9
We do have
overall?
another call.
Hey, caller, who we got?
7?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Wyatt from Texas.
What's your take on D'Amico Ryans? We need it now.
Hey, he played for the Houston
D'Amico
Texans.
Ryan?
Yeah.
You talking about when he was good, or
Yeah.
or the majority of his career?
92, Dale Carter back in the day. Yeah. Anyways, what's on your mind, Wyatt?
First question. Who do the Packers fans think they are? Are they become the most annoying fan base in football other than the Dallas Cowboys?
What
about the Eagles fans, man? Have you given up on Eagles fans that quickly?
Dude, I just accepted that Eagles fans are degenerates, so there's really just no reason to even talk about them. Don't give them any more spotlight than they already have.
So you're really
Cowboys
just
fans-
grading the Packers fan base against 31, and you're not including the Eagles just because it's just a totally different category.
Yeah. The Eagles and the Bills, they don't count. That's a whole different ball game and realm of just whatever that is. I don't even know how to explain that. But the Cowboys and the Packers, this is the team. These two franchises drive me the most crazy because their fan base every year, it's Super Bowl. We're going, no doubt. We're going to kill everyone. Yeah, we have two young corners. They're going to both be rookies of the year, both of them. It doesn't matter. He's the best secondary in the NFL.
I think
Dallas
it's just
Cowboys,
like Jerry
they barely put up
Jones
100
for the
yards.
Cowboys.
Doesn't matter. We have Zeke. None of that's important. We'll just feed Zeke. We'll win a Super Bowl. He's going to get 2,200 rushing yards. What is this? What is happening? What?
Do you think
doesn't
Vikings fans would be as annoying if they had 6 rings?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd be super passive aggressive about it.
1,000%.
Oh, that's nice. You won your
110%. That's
division
why I'm
championship.
thankful to be a
I mean, it's no
Vikings
ring,
fan.
but that's nice.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
Just warming
so
up my
thankful.
rings.
If we were the Steelers, and it's just think the Steelers fan base, they're pretty down to earth people. Talk to the Steelers fans. They're they're not crazy. You talk to Cowboys fans, you would think that they're the Patriots. You would think that they're the most unstoppable team in the past 20 years that anyone has ever seen. They're delusional. Packers fans, what is this crap about having a better interior defensive line and possibly a better secondary? What do you want?
Dude, I don't know. If we get Chad on the line, we can ask him about that interior.
We're gonna get Chad on the line.
Get Chad on here. Let's talk about it.
Make sure you bring that up with Chad when he comes on. Dude. No doubt.
I don't know, man. I think it's the rings. I think also it helps, like, when you're called America's team, which, the Cowboys were, and then I think a lot of people are saying the Packers are like the new America's team or something like that.
Can we get the America's team thing straight first and foremost? The Cowboys were America's team, quote unquote, because of the stupid commercials. They never earned the title of America's team. I hate the Cowboys.
Man, you got some real Texas-specific anger in you, man.
Listen, man, I am from Texas, so I live with the Dallas Cowboys fan base, and it is the most obnoxious fan base, I swear to you, in all of football. They're
Where in
wild.
Texas do you live, by the way? I think we've asked this before, but I just want to know.
Want to know what?
Where do you live in Texas?
So I live in College Station now. I go to A&M, but I'm from Dallas. So
okay.
I listen to the Dallas. I mean, these guys think Dak's a top 10 quarterback. That's a real thing.
Like that's, this year?
Just like in
Every
general,
year.
they do.
Since
They
the
love
inception
them.
of Dak, since he was a baby.
Since the inception of
They
Dak.
love them.
It's crazy. Like, they don't have anything to throw to over there. And so then you mentioned, like, I have to put up a fight for the Vikings all the time. I was like, yeah, Vikings are better than the Cowboys. And you would think it's blasphemy. They'd be like, are you nuts? Kirk Cousins? What? Like, and it's like, yes. Yeah, obviously Kirk Cousins is better than Dak Prescott. Can we say that Kirk Cousins is better than Dak Prescott? I think so. I think that's pretty safe to say.
But
Like, what
why?
do they have?
I think you gotta have your own podcast, but not necessarily about the Vikings, just about how much you hate the Cowboys. This is
Dude,
so
I
great.
could go on, like, y'all gonna have to cut me off. I could go for 3 straight hours. You don't want this hell. There's a lot of unpackaged baggage right now that's going on.
Put that
about
evil
Dallas
on me,
Cowboys.
Ricky Bobby.
But on a serious note, should we be worried about the Bears, guys?
No.
Is this something? No,
Bears?
No, they look
Bears
really good.
always play us tough in Soldier. They're annoying, and they got a good roster that they're building. But the quarterback, it comes down to the quarterback.
My worry about the Bears is less about wins and losses and more about like potential injury risk to Kirk Cousins. That's my worry. Right, like Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack. I'm worried about that.
After watching that game, I look at Aaron Rodgers. We can say Aaron Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins, and Aaron Rodgers has a better offensive line than Kirk Cousins. If Khalil Mack does that to the Vikings, I mean, Beloga that's a good tackle. I mean, I think the Bears are going to be a pretty tough matchup. I mean, for the next 5 years, just because of Khalil Mack. I mean, and Akeem Hicks is nothing to joke about either. I mean, I feel like that's actually a very good defensive front.
Yeah, no, that's the thing to worry about. I don't think it's going to be enough for the Bears to be like competitive.
Yeah.
So I think the Vikings should come away with wins most of the time they play the Bears. I'm just like worried about like what will happen to Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's been a durable quarterback, but like I don't know how many hits can you take from Khalil Mack?
The Bears weren't that great last year, and they put up good fights against us. And now, with the adding of Khalil Mack, that makes you astronomically better. I mean, you can't dismiss that. So I don't know, man. The Bears kind of scare me. I think the Bears scare me more than the Packers do. I mean, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback in football, but other than Aaron Rodgers, the Packers are dumpster fire. That's doo-doo butter. Packers
doo-doo butter, baby. That's
doo-doo butter. That ain't no good. Like, other than if Aaron Rodgers has a little limp, like I've already scratched that off. I was like, Packers, yeah, that's done. Like, that kid can't run around. The Zimmer's going to send blitz after blitz after blitz, and our defense is not the Chicago Bears. It's much better. So you're not going to go out there and put up 20 points in one quarter against the Vikings. If you get down by 20 points against the Vikings, it's over. And I really think that Kirk Cousins can light up. That defense is not good. I don't know where these Packers fans have come from to believe that they have some good defense, because it's just not accurate. It's not true. I mean, like, yes, you have Mike Daniels. I think you could say that's probably the best player on their defense, right? Muhammad Wilkerson's pretty good, a little bit of a shell of himself, not what he used to be. And then Clay Matthews
Yeah.
Are we agreeing that Clay Matthews is the dirtiest linebacker in the NFC North now?
Yep.
After his terrible hit from Mitch Trubisky? We're going to get off of Anthony Barr?
Yeah, I mean, you should be building your defense from the obviously the trenches first. And Mike Daniels, I mean, he is a stud. But I'm more annoyed of their draft getting Josh Jackson, getting Jair Alexander, because they're already panning out. Luckily, Kevin King, we were talking about this in hour one, Kevin King's not really panning out for a first-round cornerback yet. So maybe a little balancing out there. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, Bears defense, again, they always play us tough at Soldier, and this year will be no different. You grab a guy like the linebacker that they got in the top 10 and all the other pieces that they added, they're going to be good, man. The defense. But again, me and Arif were talking about it in hour one. Trubisky, I don't know if he's got the it, man. They might have missed on that one. Very early to tell, but the pieces are in place around him. They're doing everything that they can to like give him help and weapons, which is more than some teams do when they do invest and draft into a top 10 quarterback. But I don't know. He didn't look good last week.
Minnesota.
If I'm looking at the Bears, man, they're kind of loaded. I mean, if you look at offense and defense,
I think you're loaded for that take, Wyatt.
Great.
No, that defense is nasty.
I think you're loaded for that take, Wyatt.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
a couple of Lone Star Shiner box.
Very true.
No, I do like the pieces that they have around Trubisky. I mean, obviously Allen Robinson, you got Trey Burton, you've got that great offensive line. But yeah, I mean, they're weapons for like Trubisky. Like he has to use them, and I'm not that. Maybe if they get a quarterback in this year's draft.
It's week one, so obviously we don't know if Mitch Trubisky has ascended to the likes of Carson Wentz. Like all the Bears fans have supposedly said. But I like Trubisky. I think obviously he shouldn't have gone before other quarterbacks, but he did, and I mean whatever. You're stuck with Trubisky now. But man, the Bears. I think the Bears are scarier than the Packers right now. The Lions looked like a kindergarten team. I don't know what that was. That was really bad.
That was pretty bad. The Lions will be better. I mean, they're not going to have.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the Lions will be better. I mean, Stafford will be better. They've got a great receiving core. They're not going to have a pass rush. I think it'll be pretty easy to score on the Lions, despite them having Darius Slay. They're not going to have a pass rush. They don't really have linebackers.
What happened to Ezekiel Ansah? What happened to that guy?
He's never been that good. I mean, he had one season where he had a pretty high sack total, but it was like pretty low in total pressures. So you knew he was going to regress, and then he did.
You can see why the Lions weren't so quick to give him a long-term extension.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Do you think the Vikings are the best team in the NFC?
Yeah.
Do you think we're the best? I should say the best roster. You think we have the best roster in the
NFC? Yeah. I was going to ask what you meant by that, but I think I was getting it. Yeah.
Top to bottom, I think. Yeah. Yep, I think they got the best roster. They've done such a good job putting this roster together the past 4 or 5 years, and more so retaining their core guys. I mean, young guys. Yeah. They're going to be good and have one of the best rosters in the NFC for a while. I mean, unless something drastic happens for a while. Yeah, they'll lose a name here or there. Maybe a Trey Waynes to keep a bar and a Sheldon, but they'll be good.
With the Rams fan, and he had a good argument. The Rams have a great roster, and I was like, man, the Rams, though they have a good roster, that's not going to be intact for a long time. I think the Rams have a good little 2-year window there, but I don't think they re-signed Ndamukong Suh. I don't think they re-signed Marcus Peters. Like these could all be one-hit wonders. Like, and this could be like 1 year of good. Aqib Talib, wasn't he on a 1-year deal too? So you got Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters and Ndamukong Suh all in 1-year deals. Like, and you're going to re-sign all these guys on top of Jared Goff? Okay.
What about Philly? What about Philly?
What about Philly, Scrum?
Philly's got a good roster.
Yeah.
They do. Their defense is great. Their O-line's good enough. And, they got some playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, too. But I think talent-wise, I mean, Vikings, running back, a Dalvin Cook and a Latavius Murray. What are we talking on the Eagles side? I mean, you can go up and down.
Sure,
I think top to bottom, I think Vikings, again, the roster's just stacked.
Hey, well, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you guys hard next week.
All right, man.
See you, Wyatt.
Later.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Speaking of holler, in a room filled with heroes, Hans Zeus, Greg Rosenthal, Chris Wessling, and Mark Sessler, the Around the NFL podcast deliver all the latest and greatest news in the NFL. As NFL writers and reporters, the ATN crew has exclusive access to industry insiders and team personnel, allowing the listeners to feel in on all the action. The ATN podcast has you covered 52 weeks a year, recapping every game and every big story. If it happens in the NFL, you hear it on ATN. Whether it's a buzzworthy position battle, a new addition to the injury report, or RIP Falcons. It's That's rough. Perhaps a rookie steal in the show. Around the NFL highlights, everything you need to know ahead of kickoff 2018 and the 2018 season. Subscribe now to the Around the NFL podcast and keep up with all 32 teams all year long. Available on your favorite podcast app or NFL.com. You know what's weird, too, about the whole Vikings keeping the band together, young team intact at relatively cheap rates? Because say Everson, Linval, and Daniil all got top dollar for their position, you can't afford Sheldon. No, which is the amazing part. Yeah, it's great. Hey, caller, who we got?
Hey, guys, it's Alex in Kenosha. What's going on?
Hey, we were just saying that we thought that you might have died.
Yeah, it was close, but...
From what?
Ironically enough, skunk spray. So,
this is for real?
Oh, man.
I could give John Gruden... No, I didn't almost die. My dog just smells poorly.
Wait, is that a Wisconsin euphemism?
What's that?
I don't know. Hey, what's on your mind?
So I'm somewhere in between. The offensive line sucks, and we're going to win a Super Bowl. So pretty much normal week.
Why not both? Both can be true.
There we go. Yeah, but no, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just I have a couple questions. I guess one of the first ones is it seems like this has been a theme for a while, but I haven't really heard anybody talk about it over the last couple of years. But like, it seems like when teams do these weird PA bootlegs and kind of switching the field, getting players running across it, it seems like there's always like a guy that's wide open. And I don't know if that's something that that Zimmer's going to. I mean, obviously, yesterday or Sunday it was Kittle that seemed to be open all the time. And I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that, or there's a way to correct that just by playing the correct zone, or how does that work?
Well, so the thing about the deep Kittle pass that ended up causing problems, or ended up looking like it was going to cause problems before he dropped it, is that a lot of that comes from really excellent play design from Kyle Shanahan. Luke mentioned it in hour one pretty briefly, but if you take a look at that play, Shanahan had run a version of that play, basically set up that play a couple of times over the course of the game. So initially it was like a zone run to the outside. The offensive linemen all look like they're doing kind of this one thing, and then they turn that into a zone play action, and they end up running like a flood to one other side of the field. They do that twice off of that play action, and then after that he set up a third one, and that's when the tight end runs the wheel route. That's when Kittle basically spun Eric Kendricks around, and so the Vikings had seen the run and then the play action off of that run a number of times, and so it was just kind of set up, and it's kind of difficult to like tell your players to try and not anticipate plays. Yeah. And it's difficult in the middle of the game to be like, I've got a feeling that they're gonna, so. To resolve that, obviously you have to, make sure you're reading your keys correctly and know kind of what your assignment is. But it's really difficult, just like for a human, not to cheat once they kind of sense a pattern happening, even if they know that that's kind of the whole point of what's happening.
Are you talking about football or Michael Kendricks?
Woo! Wow. Too soon. So, yeah, I don't think that there's like a specific problem. I don't think that the Vikings are necessarily exploitable in that way. Although I am always worried about tight ends. I know the Vikings were like number 2 in the league last year against tight ends, but I think 2014, 2015 they had a ton of trouble against them. And it's kind of always stuck in the back of my mind. So it's something that I've been kind of worried about.
Get in.
But it's something that just happened as a result of like play design and stuff like that. So I don't think it's necessarily easily exploitable.
Yeah, maybe just Shanahan's good.
Oh, go ahead.
The kid's got something.
Well, no, I was just thinking, when you're looking at some of those plays where the Vikings defense is so good that they seem to shut down, all the traditional run and pass plays that the offense would call. So it seems like, in that Philly game last year and even into week one, it's trying to find, a way to essentially trick them where other teams can kind of attack in more of a standard way and find a weakness. But with the Vikings, it's kind of like, we have to just find a way to get a big play here and there because, kind of calling it by the book is not going to be successful.
Yeah, that might be one way of thinking about it because I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like as an offensive coordinator to try and scheme up against, a defense that has like all pro quality players at every level of the defense.
And they like each other.
And they like each other. Unlike maybe Seattle. But like, they're pretty good against the run. They're elite against the pass. How you figure that, I have no idea. So yeah, they basically have to resort usually to counterintuitive or unorthodox methods to attack. So yeah, I mean, that's something the Vikings have been seeing for basically a year and a half, 2 years now. So they've kind of gotten used to the way offenses try to attack them.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing I was just going to mention is, I've said this in the past, but like, what is going on with broadcast teams? Like, it's week 1. I'm pretty sure this is like your main job, but like Charles Davis called Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes on like the second play of the game, and in the Patriots game too, I think Nance or Romo, one of the two, was like, with all these new receivers, I think they're going to have to wear like name tags or something, not realizing that they wear numbers and name tags. I don't know. It's just sometimes I'm like, are these guys professionals or what's going on here?
That's pretty weird. I do want to say broadcasting is like way tougher than I think a lot of people realize. And I'm not saying that you're like diminishing it. It is their job to get names right. But I wouldn't be surprised if like sometimes like when you're like, kind of like really deep in the weeds and you're like really obsessed over like these details, like Romo for a while had a shtick about predicting the play, or broadcasters have like a bunch of anecdotes lined up to tell, or just like kind of weird tidbits and stuff.
Or
when they get
clips that they have to tee up.
Right. When they get like super like obsessed with that, I mean, like the amount of work that they put in to be a broadcaster is actually pretty surprising. They have to basically scout teams. They can get too caught up in the details and just kind of miss like the big picture. Like, what is that dude's name? Oh, he's wearing dreads. He can't possibly be Xavier Rhodes. It happens.
It's like why local radio guys can be so on point, so tuned in for the team, because they're doing the same team 16 games a year. Sure. Whereas national guys, it has to be a little bit more surface level. That's why you get the repeat of like Adam Thielen, $500 scholarship stories over and over and over again. It's like it's sort of like how sports talk radio locally is always so much more in tune with the team as opposed to when national guys talk about things. So it's
do you think though that we should have a local broadcast here of the Vikings game?
Why?
Because they know the team better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we do have like PA and Charge. They'll do the play-by-plays and whatnot every week.
Bursich, but yeah.
All right.
They should have Charge of the booth just for the LOL.
It'd be funny. I think that the problem is the fans tend to know more about their own team than the national broadcasters do.
Right.
And
so it does get weird.
Yeah.
Like what the players look like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think the Rhodes Waynes one is really funny.
That is really funny. Sorry, what did you say?
No, I just said it's easier for me to critique him when I'm sitting at home not doing it professionally.
Yeah.
Like,
it's an insanely difficult job, and when poor broadcasters are broadcasting, you can kind of tell. And when really excellent broadcasters are broadcasting, sometimes you just can't. And I think this is why. So Sam Ekstrom, also a guy that we have at Zone Coverage, who does
covers the Vikings.
Yeah, he covers the Vikings, and he also I think he does the gambling podcast now.
Yes, with Mike Gelfand.
Yeah,
who hates all broadcasters.
Yeah. Sam's a big Joe Buck defender, and I think one of the reasons is because
loves Joe Buck.
Yeah, he loves Joe Buck.
And has written it's on the site, an older article, but
yeah. And I think part of the reason is because Buck can fade into the background without being noticeably absent, and he can kind of inject himself into situations that kind of require the broadcaster to bring energy. And good broadcasters will kind of like fade away when necessary. But I mean, bad broadcasters is super obvious. So
Mike Goldberg,
right? Yeah, I mean that was
which kind of sucks because he was really good. He is really good at MMA.
I mean, but I mean, like, just do that then.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, it becomes like kind of easy to think, oh well, if you just don't make those kinds of mistakes, that'd be great. Without realizing what it takes to be the kind of broadcaster who can fade into the background at appropriate moments and stuff like that. It's really tough because fading into the background doesn't mean being silent, because that's an awful broadcast. And a lot of people that begin broadcasting are just silent for way too long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it just
like this. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Exactly like that.
There was that was my cue. There was like a Sunday night game, and I don't remember who was doing it. It was baseball, and they had Noah Syndergaard as like a quote unquote sideline analyst, and no one was saying anything, and he's like, "Am I still on?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, say something."
Like Mike Leach when he was calling college games. It was so terrible.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It's like
or like Rex Ryan.
Do you remember a scene from I think it was Major League 2 where Bob Uecker passes out because he's a drunk, and then like the side guy who the shtick was he never got to talk. He's like, foul ball or fly ball, caught. Because he was a deer in headlights. That's what it is. Like it is a really hard thing. I'm not envious of the people who do it professionally.
Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside. Yeah, pretty good.
Alex, appreciate you calling in, man. Glad to hear that you're not dead.
Thanks. All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. You got another one?
It just hung up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Call him back. Telemarketer. Hey.
Remember when he tried calling back that one day? Finally,
That
at one
was
point,
weird.
Reef's like, you got to stop.
All right, Stark Wolf A2, who's going to have a better call in, Jerry or Chad?
Are they going to call in? Like, what's happening, Luke?
What? Didn't you hear Tom wanted me to wait to have them call at the end?
Why?
Because we tend to get less callers at the end. However, we started early, so that's not been the case.
At Iowa, Josh, has Everson regressed? Didn't notice him much in the game. 99 was blowing crap up all over the place.
The Vikings coaching staff marked him as having 7 hurries, just as many as Daniil Hunter. And PFF didn't reward that sack to Sheldon. They rewarded it entirely to Everson. So
the half one.
Yeah. So I mean, there's an argument that Everson was maybe about as impactful as Daniil Hunter. Everyone talked about Hunter.
Yeah.
And Griffin essentially had a sack taken away by Harrison Smith getting to the quarterback first. He had a great game. He had a couple of stops in the run game. I want to say 2 or 3 stops at the line of scrimmage. And those stops were pretty evenly distributed throughout the defensive line. I don't think he's regressed. I thought he had a pretty good game. He didn't have like a game-breaking game or anything like that, but he had a pretty good game.
But that's okay because I think with this defensive line, you have so many players that are contributing at some point or another. Like you kind of expect the distribution of play to be across the offensive line or defensive line.
Hey, caller, who we got?
Well.
Chadwick Boseman.
It's been a while, my friend.
Yeah.
But rivalry week, man. It's great to hear from you.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you guys.
Now, I just a quick little setup here. Chad was texting me freaking out about Aaron Rodgers when he was getting carted.
Oh, yeah? Were you scared, Chad?
He was freaking out. And I wasn't watching the game at the time, but later it's just basically him just continuing to text me like, never mind, we got it. Like, no, we're good. Forget it. We're good. And classic A-Rod, though, right? I mean, just adding to the legend.
Chad, does this level of confidence kind of take away the magic of a moment like that, though? If you're like, oh, he's definitely going to do it, and then he does it, doesn't that just make it feel less special?
You know, I guess somebody who's never experienced might think that way, but no, it's a high that never gets old. And, once you feel it,
except when he's hurt, then it does get pretty...
Then you'll understand.
Who would you rather have in the game if Aaron Rodgers goes down? Would you rather have Deshaun Kaiser or Brett Hundley?
Or Don Magic Man Mahowski.
Hey.
Yeah, but at his current age.
The Magic Man.
At his current age.
I don't know. I think Hundley's the better athlete, but Kaiser can maybe throw a little better. I don't know. But he had a couple okay moments there, but then it was just horrid. So we're not going to think about that.
Yeah.
We're on track now. He's back. It's a really good deal.
But, like, how back? I mean... Okay, so
we'll see. Yeah, I know it's a little scary. He's he's on the rehab team, I guess, today. So that means he's out there, but
right.
They're not going to say one way or the other. But I mean, I really think he's going to play. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think
that's what the NFL pays.
I think we're all pretty confident that he's going to play. Does it feel weird to be talking about like a glorious comeback victory against the Bears?
Well, hey, you know what? There's still an NFL team. There's only 32 of them. I mean,
Allegedly.
and it's not so much. I know that you guys, and you do have this. You have a really great team. You have all the stats. If you were building like a Madden team, you guys would have the best numbers, right? But we don't have that. But what we have is that factor, the X factor, they call it. And some of us just like to live that way.
What kind of X Factor hasn't won like a Super Bowl in like 8 years, man?
You're right.
Take over the team.
It's not the best, I mean, I'm sure he has, thinking that too. But hey, I like where we're at. It's a great way to always think you can believe, that it can happen with that guy, and he just doesn't. He just doesn't, So I was actually, I was kind of interested in your guys' quarterback,
Which one?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yeah. No, so I mean, Kirk Cousins. I mean, not bad.
Not bad. Not amazing.
Okay,
but not bad. Yeah.
They took off the throttle or something.
That's actually an apt description of Cousins' career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to just ice it a little earlier. It was going. You guys are built for what that was. That you guys were built for what was happening there. To have the lead, take control. If just one or two more times, it's. I've seen it before with like Rodgers when he does it.
Right.
But
of course.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. That was my thing. So.
No, that was totally our criticism from hour one, that we thought, hey, he had some really great moments, some pretty amazing moments. Probably could have put it away with just a couple of plays, honestly, that
exactly
that he had called back. Yeah, or not called back, but that he should have had back. So do you think? Okay, so I think the Vikings are entering this game. I mean, I don't think the Vegas lines are out, but I think the Vikings are probably entering this game favorites either way.
The Vikings in Lambeau?
Yeah, in Lambeau. I mean,
I don't know what it is either. I'd be curious.
I mean, you saw that ESPN piece about how scouts think that aside from quarterback, every other position is to the Vikings' favor. They're better at receiver. They're better at linebacker. They're better at the offensive line. Maybe, I don't know, that one. I don't really think may be true, but they're better at running back, cornerback, which the Packers have got some pretty talented cornerbacks now. Safety, and of course the defensive line. So
wow,
yeah.
Well, for all that stats that you got, it's actually the Packers are favored by 2.5, which I know you're going to say the whole home team gets 3 points. Okay, but that's not how Vegas does it. Vegas got the Packers.
What? That's exactly how
Vegas does it.
So, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So Packers are favored, which it should be at that home. I mean, I would think if we were here in Minneapolis, the Vikings would be favored. That's just how they're going to do it.
Oh, what I'm looking at has it as a pick'em.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
I'm saying, where to bet.
Yeah, so that's
there we go.
All right, whatever, Reef. All right.
Yeah, but I mean,
but
Westgate, MGM, William Hill, Wynn, CG, and Stations. None of them have lines for the game yet because they don't know if Rodgers is going to play. But I guess the Open is a pick'em. So, yeah, I don't. Where are you getting your 2.5 from? Do you have a local bookie that's like a Packers homer or something?
Yeah, Mikey the stick.
They always do it that way. But I mean, no, it should be interesting. Your guy was better than I thought that he was going to be, and I just wonder what the score will be. It could be. I don't know if it's going to be a big, high-scoring game. I think it's going to be something low.
I was just going to ask you, which way you leaning? You lean in one of these shootouts where Thielen scores one at the end, and then Rodgers comes back and scores, or are you thinking this is a division game?
It's going to be like 24-17 Packers. That's what I'm putting it
24-17 Packers.
Right there.
Okay, well they're covering the spread by plenty.
That is the thing.
2.5, half, pick 'em, don't matter.
It's just a score, so.
A score. No, you're right. I like it.
So that's what I was doing. But so I did, in my research, this summer and all that, I was researching your quarterback.
Grinder.
And I was, I don't know if you guys are interested, but I was able to procure a secret tape of his.
Oh, yeah. Is he singing in this tape? Is that?
He was singing in this tape. It was really strange.
Okay. That's what he's not really known for that. That's really interesting. Do you have the recording available?
You know what? That's why it's very secret. There you go. Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, this is breaking news for the podcast. That's kind of new.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's news. So this was him singing right when he got to your camp. So this was like his first impressions when he just started. So it's a little bit older now that the season's already started. But
okay. Well, let's hear it.
I think you might be interested. Ready to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right.
He's got musical backing.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Pretty funny.
I gotta take a little time to think things over. I better get up better off and fly.
What is happening?
In case I need to play on.
God, I hope this is him.
That's Kurt. That's our quarterback. That's Kurt.
No, that's your quarterback.
Now this mountain I must climb. It's like this team is on my shoulder. I've never had a winning record. And you, with this team, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it alone. I can't now. They've paid me too much to change this shit. And I know what a championship is. All records to show me. I want to deal with that. I don't know if this can show me.
So yeah, I mean,
Wow. That's some pretty incredible
I'd
research.
never
really-
heard.
he
Yeah,
was
that's
worried,
crazy,
I think.
dude. That's,
You know.
that's nuts.
I mean, yeah, I heard a little bit about the offensive line. That kind of makes sense. And I mean, honestly, he does kind of want to know what a championship is. So yeah, that all fits.
Yeah, it all makes sense. It's just right on the surface. So,
Right.
But I'm excited for another year. I can't wait to call back in next week after the Packers win. And
Oh, you're
we
going to
can
call
talk
back.
about,
Phone lines will be
how
busy.
the
Phone lines will be busy. If they win, please don't call. We don't want that. No, I know. Yeah, I'll always.
I thought you guys want to talk about how the refs gave it to him and how the NFL loves Rodgers more than anyone. And I just thought I'd get you ready for the excuses.
Why
so.
talk about facts? Yeah.
That's all.
Love you,
All
Chad.
right, guys.
See you,
all
bud.
right, Chad. Good stuff, man. We'll talk to you next week, though. All right.
All right, take care. Bye, guys.
All right. Let's hammer out these Twitter questions. Let's go eat chicken. At G mentioned one. Which are the two most difficult games on the 2018 schedule?
Two more difficult
Philly.
games. These road games are
Probably
brutal, man.
Philly
I mean,
and
let's take the
Philly and
division out of it.
Patriots.
Patriots
Oh, yeah.
on the road. The Thursday night game. I mean,
Well, the
Thursday night
Rams,
games are weird.
That's
so
going to be
like,
hard
maybe,
against the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe something goofy happens.
I would imagine it's
But at Philly, at Patriots are my two.
Which current Viking would you like to hang out most with on a regular basis?
Everson.
Yeah.
Stefan.
Stefan would be fun. but-
Everson on 11 all the time, though.
Yeah, that would be
What's
too
that?
much me.
Everson's on 11 all the time,
I
though.
would want that for a party, but
Yeah.
not for
Yeah.
not consistent.
Yeah, I would hang out with Stephon Diggs a lot. Mike Hughes is pretty cool.
I'd hang out with Linval. Let's go eat. Watch
As long as you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Sendejo?
No.
Too much.
No, Sendejo is just he's way too chill. He's like a really
Well,
chill
that's
guy.
how I think Harrison.
No, he's a really chill
Harrison's
guy, but
so chill.
But he's just like that all the time.
All right, flip it around. Least want to hang out with.
Kirk Cousins.
Sendejo.
Sendejo.
Wayne's. I don't know. Like what are we gonna talk about?
Right. Wayne's would be tough.
Wayne's is just
Again, I love
quiet.
Harry.
Wayne's
He's
is just
just
quiet
so
to the
too
media,
chill.
but he's probably pretty cool.
No, that's Kendricks. Kendricks is quiet to the media, but cool otherwise. Wayne's is just quiet.
Yeah. It's that Kenosha, Wisconsin connection. At the Bird Abides, is forward progress called differently depending on the player? If I was an official, I'd be tempted to give running backs like Lynch just a split second longer before the whistle. Case in point, that touchdown.
Yeah, I think so. One of the greater, I think, officiating stories, not that you get a ton of officiating stories, is the non-call for Eli Manning in the Super Bowl.
In the grasp.
Yeah, where he would have been well within his rights to, call forward progress and call it a sack. And he didn't, and one of the reasons he didn't is because it was Eli Manning at that point had been kind of known for his escapability. And so you just kind of want to let the play happen.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think that was part of the reason Lynch kind of got the consideration he is because he's Marshawn Lynch.
What?
Listen.
Hey.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Swung and missed.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, it's Alex from Chicago. How you guys doing?
Hey,
good, man. What's on your mind?
So, I was going to ask, Andy, you had a tweet about us not being able to truly appreciate this defense just because we demand so much from it.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
And it's like almost like, yeah, exactly, we're spoiled. And I found myself doing that during the game, like, oh, man, Harrison just gave up that touchdown, kind of had a bad game, and then you see his stat line, and you're like, no, that's not true. He's Defensive Player of the Week. But anyways, did Anthony Barr have any rushing snaps during the game, and how effective was he during those rushing snaps?
He blitzed, I want to say, 3 or 4 times, and he got a pressure on one of them. So pretty effective, I think. But, not like a ton. Because
but did Anthony Barr play? Yeah, I didn't even see him out there, Reef.
A lot of people asked me that. Like, did he play?
I thought he had a Barr game.
Yeah, it was a quiet game, but he actually did a pretty good job. He got a tackle for loss or 2. I think the Vikings coaching stats have him with 1 tackle for loss, and he got 1 more stop in the run game. He had a bunch of coverage snaps. He was only targeted once, and it was for he was targeted 3 times. 1 reception allowed for 6 yards.
Now,
so he actually did a pretty good job.
Defensively, we're becoming Bama fans, where we quickly forget the days of A.J. Jefferson and Chris Cook and Lance Johnstone, just like Bama fans forget Mike Shula.
Right.
Face.
Yeah.
Face.
I like Lance Johnstone.
Then I have one more question for you guys. It seemed like the Bears were able to have a lot of success running the football. I mean, especially in the first half. Do you think this is a week where the running game rebounds for the Vikings and Dalvin Cook is a monster game?
Well, hopefully the yards before contact improves.
Yeah, his yards after contact, he had 44 yards after contact, 41 before contact. So
not great. Yeah,
the hope is that the blocking gets better. Obviously, Latavius Murray did a little bit better on the ground. He also happened to benefit, I think, from better blocking. So yeah, I think if the blocking is there. If the Packers' defensive line is not that good, I think we'll see a lot of yards on the ground. But I don't know. We might be in for a couple of weeks, except for this game up against the Patriots in a couple of weeks. We might be in for a stretch of games where the interior defenders are going to be good enough that you're just going to want to throw them the ball instead of just having them run up the gut.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Thanks for calling in, Alex. See you. All right, last one. All-day Vikings 28. How long do you think Pat Elflein will be out, and are you guys okay with the current O-line setup while he's out?
I would hold him out until the Philly game, to be perfectly honest. Get him a few weeks so he's healthy. I don't think bringing him back for that Rams game on a Thursday night is the best decision, having to face.
That doesn't make any sense. Why does he have to rest more? Because it's not he's finally in football shape, let's go. I mean, that's part of the assessment process, right?
Well, I mean, I'm saying I gave him 4 weeks of rest to be healthy enough to kind of handle the rest of the season.
But that's what these weeks actually are right now, is what I'm saying, is that when he's active and playing, he'll have had the 4 weeks of rest that you would want him to have in the first place. So, if he's healthy, we should wait a little bit. The Vikings are already in the wait a little bit portion. Is what I'm saying.
You think he's right now he'd be healthy enough to play?
Well, no, you want to give him a little bit of rest.
And that's what I'm saying.
But you're saying 4 weeks from now.
No, I'm saying I said for the first 4 weeks of this start of the season, which is why you don't put him on PUP. That's why I didn't think that he was okay, he wasn't going to go on PUP, so you wouldn't have to wait to that, the 6-week window and then, a couple weeks to activate him or whatever the case is. But I thought that the Philly game would probably be a good game for him to come back.
No, I think just whenever. I think he'll be fine when he's fine. I mean, he already rotated in with the twos in limited participation reps today. When he's cleared, I think he'll have had that requisite rest, and then you're good. Like, I don't think he'll be cleared and then they should wait a week or two. I think once he's cleared, he's good.
You think he'll have that strength back too, as well too? Because I mean, like,
I'm sure he won't be at like full strength because when you've got a shoulder injury, it's more difficult to work out.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to build that up in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 1 week either way. So he's just going to. I mean, and he has traditionally won with leverage anyway. So yeah, just put him out there when he's active.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, it's week 2 of the football season. Don't know if you guys know that. And this weekend, DraftKings is over $2 million in total prizes, and you can play for free with no deposit. Draft a new team every week with no season-long commitment. Download the app or go to DraftKings.com now. Use code COVERAGE. Enter a free contest this weekend with your first deposit. That's coverage only at DraftKings. The game inside the game. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restriction apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Gentlemen, what you got going on this week? What's cooking?
Probably looking at Danielle Hunter a little bit.
Yeah,
had a nasty game. So
I already got some tape cut up for you.
Yeah, I'm
check that out.
You're gonna be credited for it. So
check that out for sure. Grinding some tape, I guess, from Sam Fran. You know, I feel like I've already tweeted out a little bit, but really interested in these 3 safety looks. My question is George Iloka going to be the guy next week, or because they were basically so successful with these 3 safety looks, are they just going to roll with J-Ron Kearse? Because why wouldn't you?
Yep. Rafe?
I'm putting together a piece on Mike Patton's defense, kind of what's different about the Packers' defense as a result of him being there, and what the Vikings might expect.
And Tom, what's going on ZoneCoverage.com?
Check out Sam's daily coverage of the Minnesota Vikings. We're still sticking with the Twins, covering them. And Dane Moore, a great piece on the Timber Bulls versus Timber Wolves or Timber Pups, I should say, with the Luol Deng signing.
Everyone enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Vikings-Packers, and we'll be back next week. Listen to Hour 1. Show's available on iTunes, Stitcher, iRadio, Spotify, Google Play, ZoneCoverage.com/machine. But for Luke and Arif and Yanka and Tom, I'm Andy saying, Nano. Sorry, bye. See ya.